Hey there, folks. Welcome to their Susan Game Reviews live stream. And Pirate Gear Boy is here saying, "Hi, just saying I really appreciate you streaming." Well, I really appreciate you saying that, Pirate Gear Boy, because, honestly, I haven't had such a great day today. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stream today. But, I figured, and I've been streaming this game, Trilby's Notes. You saw I was here, we beat it the other day. I wanted to play it through again with the director's commentary. And I was like, nobody's going to watch it anyway. Who cares, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stream it. If nobody watches it, they don't watch it. But we're going to do this again, once more from the top, and play through the game again, because it's a really good game. And I do want to see the director's commentary. I'm sure it's really interesting. And, hopefully it'll be streamlined, because we already know what to do from last couple of playthroughs. But, Hopster Key, man, I appreciate you too. Hopster Key says we're always here for you, Stu. Hopster Key is like one of the oldest viewers on this channel. Like, not oldest in terms of age, but longest tenured viewers on the channel. So I appreciate that as well. Good guy. Does you know what? It's funny because I spent like the entire day today pretty much testing out games and like getting to work and stuff like that. And there's several times during the day I was thinking to myself, I should just stream this. Like people will probably watch it, probably better enjoy that more than the Trilby's Notes. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get myself to actually do it, and I still have more to that to do. But let's play through an adventure game, if you guys don't mind, and hopefully it'll be fun. I think it will, especially since it won't be stuck at all. Alright, tutorial off this time. With commentary, yes. Definitely do a testing day. Alright, maybe next time I do it. Time to do these already, hey? Oh, I guess I shouldn't complain. This is probably the most enjoyable part of the game design process. That's like he's like looking in from the side there. If you already played one of my special editions, you'll know that pressing F10 at any time turns commentary on and off. If you haven't, then you fail as a person and are probably quite ugly. Luckily, I don't fail as a person, so I guess it advances automatically. Let's do this. Cue music. The following documents take of the hero notes of Trilby, an STP field operative whose real name remains classified. I feel really guilty about this scene, because for most players, not long enough to hear all the music Mark Lovegrove wrote for it, and the track is never used again. That's interesting. So most of the text of this game is written in notes, and it doesn't advance till you hit enter, but these things do. I tried having carried over to the next scene, but that cocked up the atmosphere, didn't it? So game over. That was what I thought as I stood and watched a foam matter collapse into flaming ash. The ordeal was over. 2600 games screen making weird pounds of screen. These were all actually PC games, some of which I tested in previous streams and didn't work. I couldn't get them to work. I was personally getting them all to work now. There was some good stuff in there, actually. But, yeah, Dig Dug was playing. It was interesting. Big Top by Fantastic Software was in there. There's another good one. Anyway, the ordeal was over. I designed the handwriting font myself with Radiant's excellent SCI font editing tool. My biggest concern was that it wouldn't be readable enough. Most people didn't complain about it. It's cool how he pops in from the side. I think that's a cute little touch there. You'd be surprised how long it took to make the notebook holes on the left line up right. It still looks wrong if you play in 640 resolutions. It's a good thing you're not doing that, right? Yeah, I am, actually. Defender, how's it going, my man? Happy 4th. Appreciate you being here, at least to say hello. And your pirate game was his Dig Dugs to the Master of Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain was the company that did the re-release of it. It was originally published by Atari Soft. Those 5 days cost us all so much. Philip and AJ paid with their lives. They were the fortunate ones. Jim Fowler was expelled from school for truancy, a bright future in tatters. Simone Taylor took to the bottle. Her broadcast became slurred, her eyes hollow and unwelcoming. She soon vanished from television screens. As for me, I tried to return to life as a cat burglar, but I have been forever tainted by my time spent in that wretched house. I feel that some of this doesn't sync up with the ending of 5 days, when Trilby appeared to brush off everything and remain cool and calm up to the end. Yeah, it's sort of true. But it's what happens when you change something after the fact. Officially now, I guess that scene is putting on a brave face. Maybe it's the evolution of my writing style, but it seems to me that getting away from Defoe matter without ill effects would make Trilby a very shallow character. By the way, I want to buy a Trilby hat. I think I'm going to do that. Because next time I stream a Trilby game, I'll wear the Trilby hat. What do you guys think of that idea? The memories of my possession came back in my nightmares. Every night I was there, again in the mansion, staring out through unfamiliar eyes as Philip died on my hands. I'm serious. I bought a shirt the other day. I'm wearing right now my Kung Fu shirt, but I bought a shirt the other day that said, I like chess and maybe 3 people. I thought that was funny. I became convinced that John Defoe was not at rest, that someday he would return for me. I became so terrified of invisible enemies, I forgot about the tangible ones. Trilby caught. Oh no. 2 slow, miserable years at the Defoe Manor, a barrage of truncheon blows taught me a harsh lesson in reality. I woke up in the kind of filthy cell I assumed would be my new home. Originally, the scene says that Trilby was captured after 2 months, but then I replayed 7 Days of Skeptic and discovered I had placed 5 days in 1993 and the firing of the Idol to space in 1997. So I guess I had to redo it. If you don't understand all that stuff, keep watching. But then he came, the man from the government with his nervous smile, offering an alternative. The STP, the Special Talent Project. Kung Fu was the first game you played? Wow. The Special Talent Project is the center of my personal fictional universe, populated by a bunch of characters from my previous projects. You said this before. Chris of Agent Evil and Chris and Trilby? I don't know what Chris and Trilby is. It had been much earlier that I would have sooner died than entered an obligation with anyone, least of all the government. Had Defoe matter changed me that much? Whatever my reasons, I let my past behind and resolved to give my new superiors nothing to complain about. I spent a year and a half completing assignments, developing contacts, building a reputation. And then the past caught up. You went from NAS to a PS1. Yeah, that's sort of what I did too. In the summer of 1997, I became concerned about Simone Taylor's mental well-being. The papers were reporting her continual breakdown, and she had become a virtual recluse. I had no idea of my appearance would assist her hinder. I had, after all, deliberately allowed her to think me dead. Presumably she knew differently now after the media coverage of my arrest, but I would expect her to be bitter about my subterfuge. On balance, I decided that a meeting with an old friend would most likely be beneficial. I came to her apartment building on a warm, stormy night and braced myself for the encounter. So then, Trilby's notes. Why make it? What ideas went into it? And possibly some other questions I can't think of right now. I guess partly I made it because no matter how many galaxies of fantabulous wonderments or 1213s I came up with, those are names of other of his games, everyone kept asking me if I was going to do another Trilby game. Partly also, I just read a whole bunch of GameFAQ plot guides on Silent Hill and thought, whoa, it would be awesome if one day someone wrote something this obsessive about one of my games. There's a lot of Silent Hill vibes in this game with, like, the evil universe. It sounds shallow, but it was genuinely partly because of that I decided to expand the 8 Days of Why storyline into something epic and mysterious for people to talk about. Working the events of 5 and 7 days to a larger plot was pretty hard. Once I had an idea, everything sort of fell into place. We'll have to wait for the last game to see where I'm going with this. Which I've already played, but... And so we have on this channel too, actually, a long time ago. But we'll replay it. Alright, so this is Simone Taylor's door. So knock. She doesn't answer. Knock again. Knock again. Oh, here's another question. Why the text parser? That's a good question. I wonder that too. It's like I said on the website, partially because of the presentation, reading Trilby's notes, partially an homage to the old text parser games, partly just for the challenge. Okay, cool. Opinion seems to be divided whether the parser is a good thing or not. Personally, I think both in- and point-and-click interfaces have equal merits from a player's point of view. From a designer's point of view, though, text parsers are right arse to build, and I'll never ever attempt it again as long as I live. That's pretty funny. Alright, pick lock. This scene is pretty much directly copied from the first scene of my abortive first idea for 7 Days of Skeptic, which has basically been 5 days in an office building. Seemed a shame to waste the only good bit from the whole pile, so here it is. Alright, so it's a cool thing because it's dark and there's no light switch, doesn't work. But you're supposed to figure out there's a shade here. So they had open shade. Incidentally, the thunder and rain sound effects both come from RPG Maker. Still, it can still serve a purpose. That's funny. Actually, the thunder was originally a cast thunder spell sound. It didn't really sound like real thunder, so I had to mess about with it in Goldwave for a while. So while ripping off something and modifying it seems much less like cheating than just using it unchanged. I agree. Hey there, Lutfi. This game is my introduction. This game particularly, not something earlier in the series. So yeah, you see, like, you open the shape, then you still have to wait for the thunder and lightning to come to show the body on the floor. And then you can look body. The body on the floor is undoubtedly Simone. I felt for a pulse. My hands came away stained with long, cool blood. My fingers traced the outline of a large wound in her torso, slashed by a big weapon wielded by a big assailant. I called for an ambulance, as futile as it would be, and left before they arrived. Note that Trilby likes to keep his office dark. I guess force of habit means he can't work properly except in low light. That's interesting, because he's a thief. That's cute. This is one of my favorite music tracks. Props to Mark Lovegrove. All I had to do was describe the kind of emotions and atmosphere I needed for a scene, and he popped out stuff like this. Due to being a clear murder suspect, I was relieved from duty for the week it took for the Ministry of Occultism to inspect the flat and confirm supernatural activity. My superiors simultaneously apologized and assigned me to investigate if there was a connection to the Defoe Manor incident. Merely reading those 3 words, capitalized on the front of a loose leaf file, brought the nightmares back with more intensity than ever. Sure enough, a field agent reported that looters had discovered and sold several artifacts from the mansion, including the wooden idol that housed John Defoe's soul. This is as good a time as any to mention that when I started development, this game was titled Notes on an Evil Artifact. I know it's artifact, but that British spelling bugs me. I changed it because it was unwieldy and because I wanted some elements of the title to be recognizable to 5 Days veterans without using the old naming convention. The original title screen was just a silhouette of the figurine with a red glow behind it. I swapped it out for a photograph I took of my own computer desk with a hat on it. With my hat on it. Oh, that's so cool. So that's the intro that's in the thumbnail. Is actually it's a photograph of his desk. To my surprise, no murders have been reported or committed by anyone who had come into contact with the accursed trinket. I did not find this reassuring. So someone's shooting out fireworks outside my house. I thought the fireworks came from the game for a second, like, because it was just thunder and lightning a second ago, and I got freaked out. But it's like someone shooting massive fireworks. So happy 4th, everybody. Jeez, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like it's super loud. It's like right across the street or something, probably. Man. I quickly advised James Fowler to go into hiding. He was stunned but agreed. The boy had sense and still respected my judgment. This done, I began... You can hear them? Well, that's funny. This done, I began following the idol's trail. From the pawn shop, it entered the possession of one Professor Abed Shahal, an authoritative historian. I thought it was gunshots, too. I don't know if it was just the game or real life, but yeah, it was fireworks, apparently. He had scheduled some kind of antique fair in the Clan Bromwood Hotel on a small island off the coast of Anglesey, popular with tourists. Assuming the role of a scholar of antiquities, I booked a room. On the 28th of July, 1997, I caught a ferry from Porthlachog in Anglesey and arrived around 3 p.m. in Clan Bromwood Island's coastal village. See, the peaceful hamlet, in defiance of stereotype, the locals were welcoming and told me no local legends to dissuade me from exploring the island, because I was their dumbasses. There should have been a lot of local legends. Yeah, Glunchocks in the pure and click game is very rare on the Trade Police Quest. And the Police Quest, the older one, sounds like pew, it's not like really gunshots. The Clan Bromwood Hotel was the island center, surrounded by forest. I made my way there on foot. I mean, it's Lenkman. I keep forgetting if I called the hotel Clan Bromwood or Clawanbrid. Last time I checked, it varied between the two from dialogue to dialogue, but I think I fixed both cases. I think you fixed every case. See if you can spot any more. I don't think there are any more. Did I just skip something? I don't think so. You're Trilby, right? As soon as I arrived, I was greeted by a balding man in a gray anorak. I wondered if I was expected to know who he was. That depends. My name is Lenkman. I'm with the Ministry of Occultism. Actually, I should do a Door Sinister voice from. Oh? I thought the Ministry were clear on the fact that I was handling this on my own. Maybe there are still people who don't trust you, Mr. Trilby. He's a bad guy. What? I haven't stolen anything since I joined the STP. Your color for pass is not what concerns my superiors. It hasn't gone unnoticed that your history with the Defoe Wraith influences you psychologically. I'm sure you resist it, but it can still cause you to act irrationally, disobey orders. Everyone just feels a little safer with someone else on the ground. Those fireworks. I see. You can rest assured that I'll endeavor to maintain absolute professionalism on this assignment. Stone Temple pilots. Nevertheless, I have my orders. I'd just like to clarify at this point that the Ministry of Occultism and the Special Talent Project are separate organizations. I appreciate you for clarifying that, Yahtzee. The STP hires out its agents to any government branch that requires their services, so just in this case, the Trilby works under the Ministry. Alright, thanks for that. I would suggest we keep out of each other's way then and pursue separate investigations. I'm sure I don't want to get mixed up in a reunion. Bye. I watched him disappear around the corner of the building. I very much doubted that Lankman and I would become friends. No one's called me out of this yet, but later on you'll find that a fence prevents anyone from going around the corner of the building. Whoops. It does? Okay. The clamor around the hotel lobby was a warm welcome. The building was certainly well maintained, and yet there was something about it that nagged at the back of my mind, quickening my pulse. It's the picture. It's the painting, he says it later. I dismissed the sensation, an act which in retrospect I would come to regret. The rooms in the normal hotel represent a breakthrough for me, because on most of my games I never shared a texture or wall. Either I had that funny wallpaper like I did in 5 days, or I changed the colors like in 7 days. Before I made this game, I made a point of looking at some real-life walls. It seems like a lot of them are just blank, flat color with a skirting board. No need for patterns or anything. No one cares about wall textures. Now all I need to do is convince myself that no one cares about Photoshop light filters either. Good evening, Terrence Railby. I have a reservation. Oh yes, you're here for the antique fair? We've put you in room 3C on the 3rd floor. If you just like to sign the check-in book? That's the only line this lady has, that she disappears. Hello, Bethan. Just letting you know I'm having dinner in my room today. It's absolutely fine, Professor. This I decided was what they called a golden opportunity. Professor Chahal? You don't need me to point out that Chahal's the ancestor of Barry Chahal from 7 Days, right? Nah, I thought not. You're a smart person. You wouldn't have put the special edition otherwise. Yes? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. Railby, Terrence Railby. We met at Sotheby's a few months ago? Oh, you don't remember me. Oh, no, of course I do. Terry Railby, how have you been? The astute reader has already guessed that both Terrence Railby and the previous meeting were utter fiction. I'd spent some time studying Chahal's movements and habits. He was, by all accounts, absent-minded, and that was something I could use. So Trilby calls himself T. Railby and doesn't change his clothes at all. He's clearly gotten somewhat complacent when it comes to disguise, something that will come back to haunt him later on. But if I had dressed him up like that, he wouldn't have felt like Trilby, would he? Just be some guy with a girly hairdo. Why girly? Doesn't seem girly to me. I'm well, thanks. I was hoping I'd run into you. Heard interesting things about the items you're showcasing here. You remember I do freelance scouting for some wealthy collectors? Not of video games, but of random artifacts? Yes. Well, a client of mine has expressed interest in relics from Defoe Manor in Buckinghamshire. He's been on my back for a while about it. Between you and me, he seems pretty obsessed. What remained to Professor Chahal's suspicion melted away from his expression as the opportunity to make money entered the conversation. Yeah, Pirate Gamer, I agree about the wallpaper for the most part. Yeah, but I remember the nice 70s wallpaper. That's what I grew up with. Well, I'm sure I wouldn't want to damage your professional status. Would you like to come to my room for drinks? Oh, I don't want to impose. No position at all. Please follow me. Your room key, Mr. Railby. Ah, thank you. Please lead the way, Professor. That's it. Now she's disappeared. She never shows up again, that lady. Abed, who's your friend? Oh, let me introduce you. This is my personal assistant, Shoban. She accompanies me on most of my excursions. We're now the character names. Abed Chahal and Shoban O'Malley, both you'll notice are somewhat overly ethnic. Yeah, we did notice that. I really don't know too much about Indian and Pakistani names, so I took the professor's name from two Asian people I have known. Incidentally, both are imagined of somewhere I once worked. Chahal is an Indian name, but I never heard of Abed really before. I don't think it's a very common name. There's probably a million more common Indian names. Shoban O'Malley's name I made really Irish pretty much because she has red hair. I chose Shoban because it's the most traditional Irish girl's name I know, not because it's the hardest one to spell or anything. If you have trouble remembering it when you're typing commands, you can always call her girl or woman. Those work too. You know, if you're a chauvinist. Shoban, this is Mr. Railby, an old acquaintance. He's looking for information on Defoe Manor artifacts. Oh, really? Him and half the people we meet. What is it about that place? Never underestimate the attraction of mystery, my dear. Please take a seat, Terry. I'll be right with you. The theme of the three parts of a human, body, mind, and soul, recurs throughout the game in various places. This is all still part of the long introduction. For example, you could say the three main human characters are each representative of one aspect. Interesting, I didn't think about it that way. Trilby is the body, a physically fit man. Abed is the mind, a professor. And Shoban is emotional, impulsive, the soul. The three aspects are also a big part of the GameCube game Eternal Darkness, so you may notice other ways that game inspired this one. I've never played Eternal Darkness. I've heard amazing things about it. I've always wanted to play it, but never got around to it. So interested in ghost stories? The girls start me as a forceful personality. I give the matter some thought before replying. Not really. I'm just scouting on behalf of a client, like I told the professor. You know, it's strange to see someone as young as you in the antiques trade. What about her herself? Come to think of it, I thought only old men dressed like that. No offense meant. None taken. I didn't catch your last name. It's O'Malley. Shoban O'Malley? Could it be more Irish if I tried, could it? If it tried. Sorry to keep you waiting, dear boy. I was busy doing nothing. Now then, what shall we talk about? I guess the talking system is the part that most people hated about this game, because it's hard to find all the conversations, and subsequently the characters didn't come as well-rounded as they used to. For example, if you type Ask Shoban about herself, you get one of a few strong hints throughout the game that the relationship between Abed and Shoban was somewhat slightly dodgier than professional teacher-student one. I wondered about that also, because later in the game, when she goes missing, he acts very weird. Let's try that. Ask Shoban about herself. How'd you come to work for the professor? I was a student of antiquities, studying under him at Warwick University. When I say under him, I mean actually under him. He offered me this chance to supplement my studies, and also some other things, too. She was very talented, if you know what I mean. Woof, woof, etc. The theme of sexuality recurs now and then, which eventually prove relevant to the whole body, mind, and soul thing. I'll discuss this further in the Freehorn scene and the Shoban's room scene. This commentary is funny. Ask Abed about himself. What are you up to lately, Professor? Oh, do call me Abed. Doing a little lecture tour on famous antique collection at the moment, taking me all over the place. I was only able to attend this fair because I'm speaking at Bangor on Monday. Bangor, Maine? Let's try to ask them about each other. Ask Abed about Shoban. I thought it polite to discuss it with someone else while they're still in the room. Okay, fair enough. Ask Shoban if she finds me attractive. Oh, kiss Shoban. Alright, ask Abed about Idol. Ask Abed about Idol. Tell me, does a huge man in a welding mask and leather apron mean anything to you? That's weird. Not really, should it? Weird thing to ask. Never mind. It's a small African figurine that my client wants me to look into. Resembling a rather ugly tribal god. That old thing? Honestly, despite its age, it's virtually valueless. That's what I said, but my client is very insistent. He's interested in the paranormal, and the idol features in some of the more unlikely accounts of the Defoe Manor incident. Well, I don't suppose I should ask questions if this man of yours wants to take it off my hands. I don't have it with me right now. It's being kept in the hotel safe. Well, it was kept in the hotel safe until someone stole it. Perhaps we could work out a deal after the fair. I intend to display it with the other Defoe artifacts. Inwardly, I just wanted to get this mission completed as fast as possible, but I don't want to risk suspicion or give you off the wrong impression. That'll be fine. Just out of interest, what else have you picked up for the mansion? Odds and ends, basically, including the painting that's in the front lobby. Also a burnt rocking chair. And the painting, of course. Painting? A landscape from a wall in the mansion's lounge. Little artistic value, but the artist features prominently in Defoe Manor's colorful history. Matthew Defoe? That's him, yes. Bethan, she runs the hotel. She asked if she could display it in the lobby before she disappeared forever. Instantly, I recalled the sick feeling I'd felt in the lobby. I'd seen the painting, but it paid little heed. Oh. Are you all right, Mr. Railby? You've gone rather pale. What? I'm sorry, I was just distracted by my thoughts for a moment, and I'm also about to have a hallucination. Lost in history, eh? Something like that. Mr. Railby? What the hell was that? What the hell was what? You were sitting here, then you went all stiff like you'd seen a ghost. You didn't see it? See what, Mr. Railby? I think it was Richard Cobbett in his review mentioned that this game seems to abandon the group dynamic of previous ones in favor of a more desolate experience. Richard Cobbett used to do a lot of game reviews for PC Gamer. Very funny. Did some video reviews. That's true, and it's all about experimenting with different deliveries of horror. Interesting. 5 days about a group of strangers already suspicious of each other, gradually learning to work together against the nightmare. 7 days about a group of friends driven solely apart into mutual distrust by the same nightmare and being ultimately destroyed for it. Trilby's notes is something different. It's about being in a nightmare and being the only one aware of it, with everyone else oblivious. That's interesting. It's about the horror of being alone, with the fact that other people are around but unreachable, only making it worse. That's so interesting, actually. It's really a good game. I'm sorry, I have to go. Something's wrong. Oh, well, we won't keep you then. We'll see you later, maybe. My head was spinning, and a sudden nausea churned to my gut. The world seemed to be pulsating, the corners through wavering like a heat haze. Whoops. I advanced that by accident. I said convinced that some connection lay between Defoe Manor and the Son of Madness. The light world, dark world juxtaposition is a theme explored constantly in the Silent Hill series, which is the best game series ever, and if you disagree, then you're wrong. A lot of fireworks, man. I took that idea and added the ability to shift between the two worlds at will, a system that exists in some of the Zelda games, like Link to the Past, in order to provide interesting twists to certain puzzles. Pirate Game Boy, I think you're the only one that's actually still sticking around here, so I hope you like this thing. The actual design of Dark World is inspired chiefly by the arc of the Splatterhouse series of beat-em-ups, which is surprisingly graphic for their time. It's interesting, when he says this stuff, it makes a lot of sense. Incidentally, the 3-room hallways of the 3 floors are all exactly the same room, with just the door numbers and graffiti changed. Makes sense, too. I think this is a great, very well done game. Except for a couple times I got stuck. And also the walking up and down the steps takes forever. I haven't either, but they look really good. Alright, so let's read papers. Here, there appear to be entries from a diary. I'm not going to read this again. I read it the first time around. It's about this guy and his wife who came in the hotel, then everyone started disappearing, and then your wife got killed, and eventually he also got killed too, obviously, because he's not there anymore. The unfortunate man is not, as you might think, another hapless guest of the hotel who tripped into Dark World. Rather, notes indicate that he and his girlfriend actually originate from Dark World. Does? I didn't realize that. This is a pretty strong hint, the other being Cabanath's talk in the last flashback. Not all of the inferior realm is evil, just this bit, because the presence of Chizoa the Tall Man. Elsewhere in that world are normal people who just happen to live with magic. I hear the longest journey used something like this, a realm of technology, a realm of magic. I've been trying to find a copy of that game for some time. It's not so hard to find, man. Could have asked me. Wait, I'm going to read these papers again, now that he said that. Felicia and I took shelter from the... How can you know that? Felicia and I took shelter from the storm in a decrepit old hotel in the forest. It seems to be completely deserted, so we bedded down on the floor of the lobby for the night. It is so peaceful here, the noise of the storm seems far away. Exploring the hotel, it has become increasingly clear that the place is not as innocent as it first seemed. We found ancient corpses and evidence of terrible deeds in several of the rooms. The storm is clear, we intend to leave as soon as possible. I'm certain now the devil tree is at work. Every path we take through the forest brings us back to the hotel. We spent a whole day trying to roots to no avail. Felicia keeps talking of a demon she found she saw in the hotel kitchen last night. Felicia is dead. I was too late to help her. I saw a murderer just as she did. Perhaps I'll be next. I'm beginning to understand. The murderous figure in black, the one whose body is soundly stretched to a mockery of form, is not the architect of this nightmare. Rather, this is the work of that hideous lord of the Forbidden Lands. Oh, that's the part I'm supposed to let you know that he came from there because he knows who that is? I mean, that's not really a good hint. Gods forgive me. I built a shrine to my captor in the lobby and attempt to appease it. Nothing has changed. I have no more food. The horror is starting to affect my mind. I'm certain that my mind is going. I imagine for a moment the hotel had changed, had become finely decorated and welcoming as it must have been in the past. Oh, I see. So when he came, it was already messed up, and then when he started to lose his mind, he came to actually the our world temporarily. I blinked and returned to his normal hateful self. That's the clue. I didn't get it. What is his relation to that disgusting beast? He's servant or prisoner. Sometimes he acts alone. Sometimes at the behest of a higher power. What does he want from me? He's after me now. I think I must have done something wrong. It hurts. Okay. Alright, you said that already. The lobby, too, had been tainted. The painting I saw was absent. Presumably only existed in the hotel's normal form. If that were the case, I had to find a way back there and dispel the hallucination if this truly was all in my mind. At this stage, I was beginning to wonder if this really was really all John Defoe's doing. It didn't seem his style somehow. What other evil could possibly be the culprit? How are you liking those spooky noises? This is another of my favorite of Mark Lovegrove's tracks, because once again he did me exactly what I wanted. I think it's pretty crazy. Whatever they're saying. I think my exact words when asking for this music were something that evokes the feeling you get after you stand up suddenly in a hot bath. That's a weird thing to say. And doesn't it? It just feels cold when you stand up suddenly in a hot bath. Now, remember where to go. I think there's nothing in here. The three posters there are another occurrence of the body, mind, soul thing. The first poster is obviously the body of the tall man, which means that the other two represent his mind and soul. That's interesting. How would I know that? One of them appears to be empty, the other appears to be broken. Decide for yourself which is which. Huh. Okay. Look counter. It's pliers. Get pliers. That game should really be fixed. That's funny. Here's something interesting. Try examining the pliers of both Light World and Dark World. The messages are different. I don't know why I did this. A whim, I guess. That's funny. Fix game. Play game. Okay, look pliers. There's a pair of heavily rusted long-nosed pliers with visible flecks of blood dotting the jaws. Okay, I'll look at it again afterwards. Here's how I went about making the whispering noise. First, I recorded myself whispering some stuff relevant to the plot. It is the guide. He sees the bridge keeper. Fulfill the prophecy. Stop him, etc. Next, I recorded another track of myself whispering things like the pain, my flesh burning, that sort of thing. Then I adjusted the pitch of the second one until both files were the same equal length and layered the one on top of the other. After I made a copy of the resulting track, reversed it, and laid it over the original. And there you have it, the Blue Peter Guide to making scary whispering noises. That's funny. So, there's this meat here on the table. Get meat. Oh, you can take the meat. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought that you didn't. That I tried to take it. It didn't let me take it. I guess you can take the meat from the very beginning. Okay, I was dead wrong. Then it's my fault. All right, remove skeleton with pliers. Let's take a look at the tall man. He and Shizuo are a concept I've been toying with for a while, which is why I took the opportunity to inject them into the series. The tall man is supposed to be the equivalent of the pyramid head guy from Silent Hill, I think. His body is so inhumanly corrupted by centuries of torture that he covers most of his body. The white mask, trenchcoat, and scarf ensemble may remind you of Rorschach, the comic Watchmen. That's a good comic. It certainly does me. Interesting. I guess I'm just pretty fond of that kind of look. Originally, the tall man's coat reached only to his knees, but I extended it because it was somehow less intimidating to see his calves. Interesting. Open door. Toilets are a pretty good environment for horror, I would think, because like showers, they're places where we make ourselves extremely vulnerable. A lot of people got stuck in this room because they didn't know they were supposed to look at the counter. So if you're stuck, look at the counter, you jerk. I think that's obvious. Look counter. Open envelope. A white pill bottle and a note fell out into my hand. Trilby, if you read this, then you too have seen the hotel change. At present, I have no idea if the alternative hotel is part of the ethereal realm or some kind of construct, a pocket dimension. There's definite correlation between one's level of agitation and one's tendency to reality shift. Fear is your enemy. It leaves you shining like a beacon for whatever evil brought us to this place. Close the bottle of tranquilizers, my personal first aid kit. When you find yourself shifting to the other place, take a pill and try to calm down, and the real hotel will return. Do not let it concern you. I'm researching the phenomenon. Your task is to find Defoe. Good luck, Agent Legman. Okay. Trilby has an invisible anxiety score which goes up by 1 with each room change and is reduced to 0 by taking a pill. Like the normal world changes to dark world with anxiety is somewhere around 8 to 12. That's very interesting. The hallucinations that the pills cause occur completely randomly. 2 room changes after taking a pill, a random roll decides if and what hallucinations occur. The last time, if you remember, I hallucinated one time that I was John Defoe. Delusions are a chance to work John Defoe and references the 7 days in without being too heavy-handed. They're also a nod to Eternal Darkness and the insanity effects used in that game. And one of them I hallucinated I was John Defoe, the welder with the mask and everything. And the other one I hallucinated that I was in the game 7 Days a Skeptic. Alright, let's first take pill. So this time it just turns back right away. Later on you have to actually change rooms to make it work. With pliers. Oh, I don't have the pliers anymore. So I'm supposed to be able to examine them in the light world. If I don't have them anymore. That was weird. Remember you said examine the pliers in the light world? I don't even freaking have them. Let's save the game. Let's just, it doesn't matter. This I still can't get in because it's a dead bolted. Yeah. This is a hallucination. I never saw this one before. I'm in the room with Cabadath. Well, that's awesome. That was really cool. That was very cool. Alright, now I can look at the painting, which I couldn't do before. I actually just touched the painting. I recently replayed 5 Days a Stranger, and it occurred to me that Matthew Defoe's painting really seems to have gotten much, much smaller since it got here. It shriveled up in the fire or something. That's sort of funny. So now you're Matthew. Flashbacks are another idea that are infiltrating my brain after playing Eternal Darkness too much. In my defense, though, my flashbacks are really different. They occur in backwards chronological order, they're in black and white, and they're more like brief interludes and a crucial part of gameplay. Defoe married July 28th, AD 1821. Matthew Defoe is 50 years old today. He's excitedly putting the finishing touches to a painting, which his father commented on encouragingly. First time he's ever been supportive of Matthew's artistic leanings. Matthew is now convinced that his father is lifting from the mysterious depression that has plagued him for as long as either of them can remember. Now he intends to make the painting absolutely perfect before showing it again. Master Matthew, Sir Roderick has requested your presence in the trophy room. Wow, $100. Thank you, James. If you used to be so good to inform that I now be retiring for the night. Very good, James. Yeah, I just heard it too. I'm surprised you could hear it this time. The very dodgy looking... Oh, that's right. The very dodgy looking animal heads of Defoe Manor return. Strangely enough, when I explored the background files, the colors are severely reduced, so line greens turn into thick bands of shading. Look at the light circles coming off the lamps. What's black and white? So what do you expect? I just figured, hey, let's run with it. Maybe it'll look things more unreal. But I forgot to apply a similar effect to the backgrounds and later flashbacks. Ginch. Ah, there you are, boy. Let me introduce my son, Matthew. Hello. You might recognize these costumes, but any adaptation of Pride and Prejudice ever made ever. That's funny. It's the right sort of thing for the early 19th century, I think. I'm uncertain as to whether they would have those photographs in the background back then, too. This is my friend, Mr. Smith. He's an expert on African tribal art. Well, just a scholar, hardly even that, just someone with interest in the subject. And he has offered to assess the figurine I brought back from my travels. I wasn't aware you had a family, Sir Roderick. Is your wife home, too? Psst, she's dead. Regrettably, Belinda is no longer with us. Oh, I'm sorry. Quite all right, you couldn't have known. She succumbed to illness shortly after Matthew was born. I finished the painting I showed you, Father. Oh, good. Well, Mr. Smith, what do you think of the piece? I don't know why, but I really like that little exchange. It serves to provide a neat little representation of exactly what the relationship between Matt and his dad is like. Basically ignored him completely. It's an intriguing little puzzle, actually. The design is reminiscent of a few Central African tribal gods I'm aware of. But to be honest, I've never seen anything like this before. May I ask how you acquired it? I'm glad you asked. It was 20 years ago when I was a younger man on my first travels in the Dark Continent. We were traveling along the west coast when our bearers spotted a ship that had run aground. It was an English clipper named the Sea Angel, and a short exploration revealed that every single crewman had just disappeared. Actually, they disappeared. We saw them being murdered, so I guess someone took their bodies afterwards. Of course, we immediately sent a letter to the nearest embassy to report the finding. Well, the point was on the lowest deck of the ship I found this very figurine you see before you today. What an extraordinary tale! How do you account for there being an African tribal carving on a British vessel? You're as confused as you are. It wasn't a slave-trading vessel, but there must have been a Negro on the crew. It's been a personal mystery of mine ever since. I was hoping you could help shed a little light on the matter. There's more to tell. I haven't even begun to recount the strange events that have surrounded this artifact. Would you care for a glass of brandy? Thank you. That would be most kind. Matthew, fetch the brandy from the kitchen and some glasses. Yes, Father. Sure, I need to point this out, but this room contains a welding mask, a leather apron, and a machete, all of which can be examined. Well, you can't take them, though. Foreshadowing. Ooh. Let's examine it. Look. Machete. Well, selection of knives were arranged conveniently of the cyborg. One of them is Sir Roderick's old jungle machete, trying to keep there as some sort of joke. Hear him again now, Pirate Gamer Boy? That guy's going wild again. Look, apron. It's a tough, well-used brown leather apron. Matthew wondered which member of the staff had been using it. Look, mask. A smoked mask, the sort of thing used by metal workers, hung from the west wall. The guard liked to keep it there as some kind of souvenir for his younger days. Oh, it's on the wall there. I didn't realize. It was like underneath the apron. Here, this is a fridge in later times. I guess it's a brandy cabinet. Get brandy. Hello? You haven't tried to speak to me in a while. Mark made me this music track even though I didn't ask for it in case I need some ambiance somewhere. That's nice of him. Seems I did. Thank you, Mark. He's just at the end of game 2, I think. I did another painting today. I showed it to Father and he said it was promising. I keep trying to tell him about you. But he never listens. You haven't knocked for me in so long, I was beginning to wonder. Hey, do you want to see my painting? I'm just not sure how to get through the door. Put painting under door. I'm pushing the painting under your door, okay? Just get it back when you're finished. How dare you, sir? You intrude on my hospitality and insult my judgment? That's Father. Get out of my house, you worm! I better see what's the matter. Get machete. Father? Oh, it's you. Father, what happened? I heard shouting. That old fool told me some rubbish about my figurine. They're probably all bootleg fireworks. It's the only tribe that could have come from all died in slavery years ago. So what? Actually, the nerve to accuse me of buying from a forger. I'm sorry, Father. What are you apologizing for? Where's that damn brandy? I've got it here. Give it to me. I'll go back to my room, Father. Let me see the painting. Father? You said you had a painting. Show it to me. I can't, Father. And why not? Because... Come on, why not? Out with it! Because I gave it to the boy behind the door. I see. And this is one of my favorite scenes in terms of dialogue and characters. Just the brief pause before replying. We're given some insight into the turmoil in Sir Roderick's mind. He's obviously psychotic. Of course, assuming we won't finish 5 Days a Stranger, we know exactly what Sir Roderick's going to do now. That's what makes it even more unnerving. Father, go back to your room, boy. I have to write my diary entry. Yes, Father. An hour of silence passed, and Matthew grew concerned about his father. Strangely, the most disturbing thing had been Sir Roderick's reaction to Matthew mentioning the boy behind the door. In the past, raising this usually provoked a violent rage or instant flat denial. Matthew wondered what sort of anxiety was going through his father's mind. Psh! What was that? Father, what are you doing? Just some fireworks, boy! It's brought to my attention that in 5 days, the date given for the birth-death of the Foe twins is June 28th, not July 28th, as claimed here. Oh well, who cares? Whoopsie daisy, consider this a retcon. Yeah, like, come on. Ironic, really. I did a lot of research into decor and costume each time period we visited the game. I forgot to research the bloody previous game that I bloody made myself. Incidentally, the script names for Walking on Hard Floor sound effects are Hard A and Hard B. Every time I type Hard A, I get a living La Divina Loca stuck in my head. If you understand why, congratulations, you're just as big and as nerd as me. Why? Harda? I don't get it. I should have done this the moment you came into this world, demon child. May God forgive me for having a part in your creation. The dialogue in this game is listed from the dialogue of Roderick and Matthew in The Exorcism at the end of 5 Days a Stranger. That's a good ending of that game. The intended implication that the ghosts in 5 Days are not actually the ghosts of these two, but instead John Defoe's memories of them. Interesting. How can you remember memories at all? He's like, this will make more sense in the next game, promise. Okay, we'll see. Father? What are you doing? Do you see what you've done? I didn't want him to see this! You see what you've done! Father, no! Father! Father! Boo! Ah! My apologies, dear boy, but I couldn't resist. Lucho lost that painting. I didn't think you would see me come in. What? What? I wrote Abed with the intention of characterizing him with the air of forced jollity, the kind of person who wants people to think of him as sort of favorite uncle figure, but is actually considered rather pathetic. Yeah. He seems sort of pathetic to me. How many times great-grandson Barry was written similarly? His many times great-grandson Barry was written similarly, but less so. Is everything all right, Terry? Yes, everything's fine. It's just, for a moment there, I thought I saw... Never mind. Showman and I were talking about you after you ran out of the room. I said you seemed like something was making you terribly anxious. So I guess why I slipped into the dark world. Frankly, I think that's still the case. I'm okay, really I am. Well, if you're sure. I'm sure my mind was not playing tricks on me. I had been back there in Defoe Manor, looking through the eyes of Matthew Defoe. I'd seen the events that had created John Defoe. I saw his death at the hands of Sir Roderick, that terrible violent end that would bring him back as that awful wraith. But somehow seeing that event, it was clear to me there was more to this than the ghost of one retarded youth. There had been something very wrong about that idol, even before it was used to destroy John Defoe. The name stood out in my memory, the Sea Angel, the name of the ship in which Sir Roderick had found the figurine. And out a lead. Professor, do you know anything about a ship called the Sea Angel? Yes, I have a shingle from it. You know, it's funny you should mention that name. It's a really old wooden chisel, among the Defoe Manor artifacts. It was a shingle for some reason. The words Sea Angel are carved into the handle. Just to clarify, Sir Roderick would have probably found this chisel along with the idol on the Sea Angel and kept it as a souvenir, which is why it was found in Defoe Manor. Sorry, it's not like anyone asked me about that. I just thought, might as well explain everything that's not completely clear. Where is this chisel? On display in the convention hall next to the dining room. Fortunately, it's locked. What's all this about, Terry? It's nothing. Just a little side project my clients want me to get onto. Thank you for your help. No problem. Take care of yourself. I should have... I usually do that. Take matches. Pick lock. Open door. Pick lock. Just for once, I'd like to crack a safe that actually contains something. Is that so much to ask? That's a reference back to 5 Days, by the way. I figured that out last time. Because the opening scene of that game, Trilby opened a safe and found that it too was quite bare. Yep, we figured it out. Open door. There's something underneath here now. Get paper. There's a page from a religious book I wasn't familiar with. I here enclose it with these notes. Victim 5, the child. The fifth man who desired judgment was the child, whose father held the carving of the slave. The prince came to him, was at once rightly pleased with what he found, for the house of the child and his father already knew well the name of the king, because he was torturing that guy, and like the king is like the lord of suffering. And as the prince watched, the child was thrown down by his father and broken with the wound of the prince's soul. But as the child's body, mind, and soul began to drift apart, the prince held them together, and he said, "You are the child, and to you I grant power, for I see in you the potential that will grant my father the king his greatest wish. You shall not be of the land of technology, nor of the realm of magic, but of both, and thus you shall form the bridge." And oops, I skipped that by accident. Across the bridge, I missed that. The prince touched the child as he was the bridge keeper, and his three aspects were granted power, so that his soul would join with the prince's soul in the wood of the tree. And the bridge keeper rose up and threw that. So Matthew Defoe is the bridge keeper, the welder. He rose up and threw out his father and threw out his brother, and truly did they know the name of the king. And the house of the father into the house of his father went the body and the body and the mind of the bridge keeper. Okay. Light match. Whoa. This is the only hallucination that's scripted rather than randomized, brought on when Trilby is reminded of fire. Actually, I remember seeing it the first time, and I was surprised by it, too. It's basically what the Defoe Manor trophy room looked like the moment after Trilby and the others legged it. That's funny. It's funny how the moose is on fire, too. Click. Open door. If you take a pill in this room, the transformation happens automatically. Unlike all the rooms, you have to move to the next room to trigger it. The reason for this is because in the dark old backyard, there's no way to exit the screen because the fire escape is bust. Interesting. I never was in here in a dark world. I don't think you ever have to be in here. Come to think of it, I'm not even sure why I bothered to make a dark world backyard because it's so complicated to get to. Yeah, I didn't know you could get here. What is this? Look table. Crowbar. Get crowbar. Come on, right there. Oh, I'm getting spammed on Twitch now. That's nice. Go screw yourself, spammer. Climb. I think Dark World makes me think Dark Seed. Yeah. Makes me think more Silent Hill. But now that I've played any of the Silent Hill games, I just read about them a lot. So take now. See that this game is hard because to find that crowbar is a bitch, and like you gotta just like sort of wander around and like guess what to do. Darkseed, I played like maybe the beginning of it. That's it. Alright, use crowbar on boards. Okay, this game could probably done with a breaking wood sound effect. I can think of some other places I could have used it. Oh well, it's okay. Yeah, Pirate Gear Boy, thanks on Twitch there, saying die spammer. The puzzle involving taking a pill to cross over into light world while passing through the door of the showroom is the puzzle most people like best, it seems. Right, I forgot to do that. Possibly because it makes good use of the light world, dark world dynamic. It was just that I include more of this sort of thing. Where's the fun using the same puzzle twice? Yes, I gotta actually do that again. Open door, take pill, and now open door. And now I'm in the right place. Take bottle. Unlock door. Alright, whatever. So there's a chisel, right? Look, or touch chisel. Boy, what would the screen do like without Photoshop filters, eh? Probably just two bands of gray and a white circle. That's funny. Somewhere in the Atlantic, July 25th, A.D. 1789. Mobutu had been a great warrior. In battle, his skill was thought unmatched in all of Africa. With many character names and affirmative research to make sure they're accurate, Mobutu is basically an amalgam of syllables from African names of the period. I have no idea what it means, if anything. It could be a girl's name for all I know. Yeah, Adobe has become freaking annoying. I still use an old version because of that. He had respect, a great house, a slew of beautiful women, children to make any father proud. But through just one mistake, it had all been torn away. His mistake was in standing by his beloved king when the invaders from the coastal kingdom arrived. Now his great house was ruined, his women raped, his children murdered. And for Mobutu, the worst fate of all, sold to the white men in exchange for weapons, shackled with his fellows in the hold of a slave ship. The history is pretty inaccurate, too. Most African slaves were enslaved by other Africans, very true. Particularly ones from coastal kingdoms who traded with white men. And you see that also in Roots. It's like black men who enslaved other black men. Mobutu was strong. Perhaps he could have lived as a slave, but then came the sickness. Yeah, I hate that too, Park here, where the little software's become rental. A simple fever, no doubt to be gone the next day, but the white men took no chance and threw overboard. Back then, Pirate Game Boy says you just bought big box software off the shelf and that was it. Yeah, listen, you're preaching to the choir, man. I'm glad I got the other day. This is really cool. Choose Your Own Adventure software series, Escape by R.A. Montgomery. Which is you just inspired me to show this randomly. It's like graphics and text and whatever for the Apple II. I heard about this a long time ago. I never just randomly saw a copy. Was able to pick it up. You want something really cool? Actually, you want something really cool? This is really cool. Look at this. This is not really a humble brag. It's just like I just really think it's cool. Look at this. Microsoft Adventure, Olympic Decathlon Adventure. So I have two of them for the TRS-80 and two of them for the Apple II. So basically, each one for each one twice. The Microsoft Adventure is pretty much the same game across both platforms. The only reason I have two of them is because I happened to see the Apple one for relatively cheap, and I was just like sold. But the Olympic Decathlon is two different games. So anyway, a simple fever, no doubt to be gone the next day, but the white men took no chance and threw overboard. For days, Mobutu drifted, waiting for the black cloud of death to descend. Having lost everything, he now sought only the embrace of the deep, a welcome end to a life betrayed. But the end did not come then. Coming around, Captain. Voices unfamiliar, speaking unfamiliar language. Mobutu was suddenly terrified the slavers must have returned, but he was as weak as a newborn and could not move or speak. The sailors' outfits are copied from photos I found of 18th century sailors. God bless the internet. The captain's outfit is more of an educated guess I took from when I used to watch Hornblower. Looks like he picked him up just in time. Don't know how long he's been drifting out here, but he can't have lasted much longer. I never saw Horatio Hornblower. Good Lord. Look upon it, men, the greatest evidence we have of humanity's inherent evil. Never forget that men, sailors such as you or I, did this, left this poor wretch to die. They're going to wish... Slavers aren't sailors like you or I, Captain. The slavers get off scot-free. No, I do not know how those devils can have the audacity to still call themselves human. Today there is no pride in being an Englishman. Find a new passenger some quarters. Make him comfortable. Passenger, Captain? Every innocent who sets foot on my ship is a free man. Is there something about this policy you find questionable? Not at all, Captain. This period in the late 18th century is about the time opinion was turning against the slave trade in Britain. In fact, if I recall correctly, the scene takes place after it was already illegalized. But even while it was still in full swing, I'm almost certain attitudes like the captain's probably wouldn't have been completely unheard of. Yeah, like I said, in Roots also, there were the captain of the ship, of the slaving ship. They made him take the slaving ship. Was not happy about it. No, these were not the slavers. The ship was different, less crowded with terrified black faces. There was anger in the voice of the white men, but not directed at Mobutu. Still frightened but somewhat reassured, Mobutu passed out. And now he's weak. Days passed, and Mobutu's health was restored. He was rescued by the ship of these good white men had been a fantastic stroke of good fortune. He decided by the will of the gods he should survive, that proper thanks would be in order. An idol, that was the answer. If he could just find some suitable wood and a sharp blade, he would carve the finest idol of his life. Point to chisel. Right there, laddie? Oh, I see. You want something to carve with. Here. The tail-headed Buddha is sharp, almost brand new workman's chisel. Just bring it back when you're finished with it. Say, look, chisel. Simple workman's chisel, the word C-H-O carved in. How do you know you can't read English? That's a continuity error. It's nice that he said that, but the guy should be able to read it. He can't speak English. Climb ladder. Clippers like the Siege were fast ships used for transporting cargo like tea, sugarcane, spice, and cotton across the Atlantic. Indeed, the crate when examined has a smell of tea about it. Who would have thought this would be educational as well as fun? Certainly not me. That'd be the goof section. It should be, I guess. Carve idol. The chisel, the wood of the crate. Buddha could finally create his offering. For several hours, Buddha was very pleased with the result. A fine rendition of his kingdom's god of fertility and good fortune. All that remained now is to return the chisel. Kill myself. I can't climb ladder. Look, body. It hurts. You can't even do that. Jump overboard. Return chisel. Get body. So you don't let you do anything. Don't you just love those sound effects? I found them by searching for gore, guts, bone, breaking, squish, and stuff like that. That's funny. There was originally a bug here where you could move Buto while I was running away and bugger up the game, but that's been fixed now. That's funny. Just in case, though, get your dirty paws off the keyboard. Just watch the scene, moron. It's pretty hardcore. Vision faded. I felt myself being hurled forcefully back into the present day. That tall, thin creature, that black-clad ghoul, what was the significance of my predicament? Why did it appear again and again throughout history to spread death and horror? There was no connection to the idol's shape or Mabuta's tribal deities. The tall man was no fertility god. It must have been connected to the wood of that crate somehow. There had been a name on that crate. Mabuta hadn't been able to read it, but I, looking through his eyes, had. O'Malley Shipping. Hang on one second, guys. I wanted to tell people upstairs to be quiet, but they did it. They figured it out on their own. Could the owner have been an ancestor of Siobhan? It was a flimsy possibility, but at that point my only lead. I resolved to discuss it with Siobhan at the earliest opportunity. This is just it's a lens, basically. The pages for the Book of Victims appearing after flashbacks were the very last thing I added to the game. I read out the whole book of Chizo in preparation for this and the next game, and I had to work them in somewhere. Okay. Well, I don't really have to read these, but get paper, or read paper. Victim 4, the slave. The fourth man who desired judgment was the slave, who had not been brought Freeguard's message, and who tormented the wood that was the prince's soul with a sharpened blade. The prince came to him, and he struck the slave down, and he knew the name of the king. And the prince said, "Not one of your household shall leave alive, slave. For thrice now I brought my warning, and any who still fail to heed shall be named as fool, and judged most unworthy in our sight." Well, not very fair, but okay. Finally, Oh, it's you, Terry. I thought you might have been the serving staff at last. You may recall earlier Abe said he was eating his room, but obviously he's come down here because his meal was never delivered. There's also the point at which Abe starts becoming gradually more hostile, as leading up to his condition just prior to his death. He gives a particularly testy response if you ask him about shipping company. Well, let's do that then. Ask Abed about shipping company. Do you know anything about Shobon's family tree, Abed? Specifically, whether or not they ran a shipping company in the late 18th century? What on earth makes you think I would know that? It's not like I sleep with her or anything. I really don't know. I just thought I'd ask. Why don't you ask Shobon? Instead of wasting my time and yours with questions you can easily answer yourself. Tell Abed to F off. Ask Abed about Abed. Abed, are you alright? You're acting very hostile. I'm a little bit hungry, but otherwise fine. Why? You really haven't seen any of it? Strange visions? The hotel changing? I'm laughing at you, Fire Gearboy. Terry, perhaps you should go and have a lie down. Ask Abed about Siobhan. Where's Siobhan? She said she was going to get a drink. Tell her it's not right for a girl her age to drink so much. What do I know about young people today? Ask Abed if he is sleeping with Siobhan. Mr. Railby, have you seen any of the hotel staff anywhere? I'm afraid not. Perhaps they go to bed early in these parts. Perhaps they were all killed. Ask Siobhan about Siobhan. How are you, Siobhan? Quite alright. And how are you? I could be better. Ask Siobhan about Abed. How's the professor? He looks fine, but I can tell he's getting frustrated. He gets cranky if he goes hungry for too long. Ask Siobhan about Trilby. Ask Siobhan about me. Ask Siobhan about sex. Ask Siobhan for a date. Boring. Ask Siobhan about shipping company. Do you know anything about the history of your family? I wouldn't be much of a history student if I did it now, would I? I'm researching my family tree as part of my diploma. That's ideal. I appreciate this may sound like an odd question, but trust me when I say it's important. Did your family run a shipping company in the late 18th century? That is an odd question. I do remember reading something about O'Malley shipping. I'll have to check my notes. I'll throw my book bag. Can you meet me in my room in about 5 minutes? I'm in 2A, next to Abed. Certainly. I'll see you there, then. It's probably a wee bit too convenient that all the flashback-provoking items happen to be in this hotel, but you have to keep the story moving somehow. It's important the game be completely contained within this one environment, I guess. That reminds me, you tried walking down the path away from the hotel yet? Yeah, we did try that. I didn't try with the director's commentary, though. Maybe I should try with the director's commentary. The game control panel has no controls. Does the game even have a control panel? But no commentary. You do see the fire escape there on the back. And that's a hint. Maybe you can get to it somehow. Come on. Door's open. Okay, good, please, Terry. You have the papers? Must you always get right down to business? Come and sit down. Let's talk. Did you see this before, Pirate Gameboy? How are you feeling? We're a little worried about you. I have these moments of illness. What do you want to talk about? Defoe matter? Oh. Originally this scene I was going to have Siobhan come on to Trilby and offer herself to him, having learned near the promised information which would irk Trilby to the point of reality-swapping agitation. Concerning the possible Aben relationship, I decided not to make the game's only female character a complete nympho slut. Be nice change the boring strong woman cliche so prevalent in fiction right now, but it's somewhat off message, I guess. Really should have more girls in my games. I'll put at least 2 in the next game, I promise. It kind of interests me. I was really into the media coverage of the incident at the time. This client of yours, the one who wants the figurine, what does he know about it? Well, he is interested in the occult, and there's some nonsense story going around about it. Something about the idol being a vessel for an evil ghost. I wasn't really paying attention. Really? I don't remember hearing about that in any of the reports. No, you wouldn't have. It wasn't widely... Have you heard the story that Trilby was in the house? I could feel cold sweat drooling down my spine. Every fiber of my being was contrary, not giving any outward signs of alarm, as Siobhan spoke of my secret name with wide-eyed enthusiasm. No one believes it, but Simone Taylor insisted it was true right up until... Well, you know. He says he saved her from the house. I think that's a little far-fetched. That's actually exactly what Abed says. He says a ghost is one thing, but throwing Trilby into it just makes it seem silly. Truth be told, I don't think Abed believes in Trilby any more than he does ghosts. He's so grounded in reality. A sensible attitude. Have you always been an antique dealer? Have you ever been... Shuma, please, I came here to talk about... He's stressing him out. Let me put that another way. Have you ever been an antique dealer? I knew it. The outfit, the hat, Terry Railby. You're him. You were in Defoe Manor. Now you've come here to finish off the ghost. Siobhan, I always knew there was something else. This world, there was something better, more glamorous, just below the surface. Will you take me with you? Listen to me. There's nothing glamorous about what I do. I live in shadows that threaten to consume me every single day. That's a great line, by the way. I hate myself that line. I think it's a great line. And if you pursue this any further, you're going to walk straight into one. What are you talking about? There's something extremely dangerous in the hotel. I don't know what it is, but... Oh, God. No! Okay, so why is a troll man trying to kill Trilby when he is the guide prophesized and assisted bully the bridge to allow Chizou into our world? Good question. Maybe this indicates a hidden aspect of the story. Maybe there's more to the troll man than a mindless puppet of Chizou. Maybe he has an agenda of his own. Maybe I'll shut up now. I can't save the game. Alright. I want to see if there's an animation where he kills you, but I just have to kick him. Siobhan was out cold but uninjured. She would probably be safe under her bed while I continue my investigation. Sheesh. Open bag. It's probably the jerkiest thing Trilby's ever done. Hey, Trilby, do not fall a kick in someone's face by rifling through their luggage, jerk. Too bad. There were a few textbooks, a half-empty water bottle, a large folder marked O'Malley family history. This I decided was my quarry. Flipped through the pages until I reached information relevant to the 18th century and read my discoveries out loud. The Liverpool-based O'Malley Shipping Company ran for 3 generations of the family in the mid to late 18th century until the loss of one of their clippers drove the company to bankruptcy. The owner of that time, Jacob O'Malley, placed the blame somewhat irrationally on a shipping crate, which family legend alleged to be haunted and that had been on the ship at the time. There are numerous tales of bizarre events surrounding the crate, and the story of the crate's origin is no less mysterious. It goes that a strange young man came to a carpenter's at the Liverpool dockyards with a very expensive-looking harpsichord, which he insisted be smashed up and the wood used for whatever purpose the carpenter desired. He refused to leave until the instrument had been utterly broken into its component parts in front of his eyes, and the wood said to be made into crates for O'Malley Shipping. When pressed for his name, the man identified himself as one Jack Freehorn. Freehorn's name I completely made up. I only picked Jack because it seemed like one of the few names that wouldn't seem out of place at any time period. The Rooms of Jack Freehorn, July 28th, AD 1778. So what trifle you're wasting your father's money on now, Jack? What does it look like? Looks like a virginal. A harpsichord, actually, in the Flemish style. Wilbur's comment there is an in-joke, because my source image for the harpsichord was actually a picture of a virginal. I don't even know what a virginal is. It looks like a piano. For my researches, there seems to be such a variance in design from one harpsichord to the next, it hardly seems to matter. Quite old, quite expensive. Well, I suppose I should be grateful that something is distracting you from the occult for once. I fear you may be speaking too soon, my friend. Oh God, I should have known, you and your silly obsession. So what devilry inhabits this magnificent instrument? The instrument as a whole is for the most part untainted by the ethereal realm. I'll read your comment in a second, Pirate Gamer Boy. But its keys are what spark my interest. Unusually, they have been carved from centuries-old English oak. And that's the interesting part? I will not be disheartened by that sharp tongue of yours. The wood has gone through many incarnations before being incorporated into this device. Items of furniture, building material. In fact, just over 200 years ago, it was part of a wall. A wall of a certain inn on a well-traveled road in Wales. The unicorn? I'm so pleased you remember. I can hardly forget it, though you've been obsessing quite heartily over it of late. Your correspondence persists in filling your head with rubbish about ghosts and demons. I count myself very lucky to have tracked down even a small piece of that hostelry. I know I've already told you some of the wonderful stories attached to it. And this instrument has had its fair share of mysterious happenings. The usual batch of strange noises, sudden madness, and inexplicable deaths. See sense, my friend. This curiosity of yours for all things ungodly has no doubt already befouled your immortal soul, and I'm so willing to sleep with you, as long as you don't talk about it too much. You're a fine fellow, Wilbur, but you've not a drop of romance in your body, even though I sleep with you. This, of course, set during the romantic, scarlet pimpernel, foppish, powdered-wig, large-breast, black-hatted third period of history. It was a time when life became so more leisurely than the hardcore, puritanical times of previous ages, and the straight-laced repressed Victorian period that followed. I figured this period a man would have more freedom to research the occult, without the hyper-religious or societal persecution. Now stop browbeating me for my inquiring mind and let us take dinner. That night, Jack was stirred from his bed by the sound of music emanating from his new instrument. His first thought was anger, mostly because the harpsichord was antique and never intended to be played. Then he listened to the haunting, melancholy tune, and he felt his stomach roll inexplicably with fear. Who's down there? Wilbur, is that you? Mark made me 2 harpsichord songs. The one you hear now is just a harpsichord, and another longer one with a couple of other instruments. Regrettably, I never found a use for the longer version. I thought of using it for the reading of the Book of the Prince at the end. The creepy ambient music worked better. Oh well, you can still hear it in the soundtrack included with this edition. I didn't realize this soundtrack. So Pirate Voice is the virginals, the keyboard instrument of the harpsichord family. It was popular in Europe during the late Renaissance and early Baroque periods. Get good. Jack not taking a step further because he realized with alerts he recognized the dark figure inside at the keys. He read of this strange entity that recurred frequently in stories surrounding the Unicorn Inn and the objects that were later constructed from its wood. He knew with absolute certainty that the tall man would destroy him, or he'd not destroy it first. Yeah, the scary man. Shoot, man. You won't take me, demon! Yeah, I know. Why does this tall man show up to torment Jack, but Jack himself never damaged the cursed wood? Good question. The fact is, the tall man can only enter our world to take revenge on July 28th. And even then, he can't venture far from the wood. Interesting. He wasn't in time to take out his frustrations on the piano maker, so he'll have to make do with Jack. Wilbur? No! Oh God, no! But I could have sworn! You! I know you! You have... Oh God! Please forgive me, your majesty, for my transgressions! I'm a worthless, craven fool, not worth a second of your precious time! I beg you, spare me! I will redeem myself for my offense! I'll be yours forever, my body, mind, and soul! Thank you, my lord. Thank you. Case wasn't obvious enough for the nightshirts in the double bed. Jack, Freehorn, and Wilbur were homosexual lovers. Yeah, I figured it out. There's another instance of sexuality. By forcing himself to kill Wilbur, the tall man subjects Jack to a blessed agony, for all agonies are physical, and is such content to leave without further torture. I'll discuss blessed agonies later on in the ritual scene. Alright, that's nice of you. Appreciate it. Identify himself as one Jack Freehorn. His man may well have been the same Jack Freehorn who went on to form a bizarre religious cult. It's spelled wrong. A depraved group of paganist worshippers who was spoken of with much derision by conventional society. My latest flashback, my knowledge of the history of the cursed wood gained another step. Before the crane, it had been a harpsichord, and sometime before the harpsichord, it had been in some part of some other kind of hostelry in Wales. Name called the Unicorn. Why did that ring a bell somewhere in my recent memory? I definitely seen something at the Clanbrowne Hotel that was linked to the place, but where? Some people kept complaining they kept forgetting what they were supposed to be doing, and saying a notebook keeping track of objectives would have been nice. I guess it would have been nice. Oh well, maybe for the next game. Like, screw you. Siobhan? She's gone. You got paper. Victim 3, Freehorn. The third man who desired judgment was Freehorn, who bought from those who made luxuries with the wood that was the prince's soul. The prince came and struck down the lover of Freehorn, and Freehorn knew the name of the king. And Freehorn said, I know you now, O prince was the arrogant man, and I anticipate your wish, and I will devote myself to spreading the teachings you have brought me and the love of our king. And the prince was satisfied, and Freehorn caught all those who would listen, and they formed an order of blessed agonies that would work to redeem the follies of the men of technology. Okay. Let's save the game just because it's been a while. Let's do 2. Sort of the west, I heard the familiar sound of a door being unlocked. Lakeman? Lakeman, wait. He just disappeared. In 5 days and 7 days, I made a point of animating all the doors opening every time a character passed through them. This game I didn't bother, no one seems to care. Haha, thanks guys, you really helped cut my workload. I cared. Open door. So you try to take a pill down, and you find it doesn't work. But you don't even need to. You just need to go down here. HES only allows one ambient sound at a time, so you could have both the whispering and the insect chittering. That's interesting. Damn you, Chris Jones. That's the guy who created EGS, Adventure Game Studio. Why might you make me choose? Alright, so throw meat. Can I climb into the hole here? Look hole. The small gap in the foundation that says came in and out, but far too small to enter. Look hand. These two individuals met with sticky ends down here. One of them been almost completely picked clean by the beetles. The other nose heavily decayed except for its hand, which was fresh and pink. What if that's something to do with the puddle of water it was lying in? Look water. Well, that's like touch water. It's almost like the water was drawing me to it. Not like a scrambling thing in my mind, the chisel or the painting, more like a beckoning siren. I could help myself. I crouched down and dipped my hand in it. It felt uncommonly refreshing. It brought a out to my lips, my energetic surroundings forgotten. As a pleasant feeling of simultaneous coolness and warmth spread from my stomach. I realized the water had some kind of rejuvenating effect. I had no explanation for this, but at the time I didn't care. Starting to feel in the back of my mind the familiar tickling sensation that indicated a reality shift. So I swiftly scooped a few drops of the liquid into my pill bottle, shaking it through the remaining pills. So we didn't even get the line about the pills not working. So you try to take the bottle, it doesn't let you. You have to go back up and see Abed, and he asks you for alcohol or whatever. It took me a very long time to get through that part, because I didn't have the stupid meat. Oh, Terry, it's you. Have you seen Siobhan? I was just about to ask you that. What'd you do to the girl? I hope you don't intend to seduce her away from my service. What does that mean? Amen. I need you to understand. You and I and Siobhan are all in critical danger, especially you because you're going to die soon. There's something evil in this hotel and it's closing in fast. Mr. Railby, I've been over this hotel several times. Apart from us, there is absolutely nothing here. Please keep your fairy stories in the playroom where they belong. Abed continues to lose his patience, and his temper only gets worse from here. After all, presumably all through the next flashback, Trilby stands motionless, staring into thin air, while Abed tries to talk to him. I'm sure many people would find rude. Ask Abed about Abed. What are you doing here, Professor? Just go over the display one more time for the showing. A lot of my doubts with that still going ahead, to be honest. I don't know where the hell hotel staff have gone, but I'm sure they're all very amused by this clever prank they're playing on me. Ask Abed about Siobhan. When did you last see Siobhan? After you left the dining hall, she popped in for a second to tell me she was meeting with you. So perhaps I should be the one asking you when she was last seen. The last I saw of her was in her room. I turned my back for a second and she was gone. She's a willful girl, all right. No doubt she's gone on other forest explorations. Ask Abed about Unicorn. Do you know anything about an inn called the Unicorn? Ah, you noticed my shingle. I picked it up as a curiosity at an antique fair a couple of years ago. Dates all the way back to the Elizabethan period, from what I understand. But I just can't find a buyer for the damn thing. Don't suppose you might have any clients who might go for it. Possibly. Do I have your permission to examine it? Of course. I may have to touch it to assess the texture. By all means, do so. As long as you're not going to test its strength over your knee or anything. Alright, touch shingle. No. There's no significant, there's a telling typo there, behind the name of the Unicorn, except that it keeps making me think of Tintin books. This guy's definitely British. Somewhere in Wales, July 28th, AD 1581. I didn't realize it was July 28th. Owen Somerset, a traveling merchant, was on his way back to his wife and family in London, having concluded some business dealings in Ceredigion. Caught suddenly by a summer storm, he spied in by the side of the road and marveled at his good fortune. Faith, 'tis an evil storm that blinds the sky tonight. I think once I got the use of faith and his exclamation out of the way, I pretty much gave up on making sure the dialogue in this scene remained sufficiently old world. I must have the Almighty on my side and find myself so close to an inn as it broke out. Perhaps. The innkeeper's side seemed quite taciturn, but Owen was in a good mood and was determined for it not to leave him. It was probably too late to continue riding, even after the storm cleared. Owen decided to inquire after a room for the night. Okay then, Owen Somerset. Any relation to Dr. Jonathan Somerset from 7 Days of Skeptic? The first two problems for this is that, firstly, it would be quite unusual for a family line to last over 900 years, or however long it is until 2499. And secondly, it wasn't even him. I presume you've already played 7 Days, otherwise don't read the next line. He was an imposter. Secondly, the Jonathan Somerset from 7 Days a Skeptic wasn't actually Jonathan Somerset. That doesn't necessarily mean his actual last name wasn't Somerset as well, right? That's kind of a hint, by the way. Interesting. Yes, man, about. Good evening, sir. Would it be possible to secure a bed for the night? Be a wiser man than I. Go from this place and never return. What? There is a curse upon this inn. I will not have an innocent doomed to the same fate as I. I have plenty of gold to pay for my board. The devil cannot be bought off, my friend. What devil? What is the nature of this curse? This inn was built by my father 20 years ago. From the wood of a fallen oak he stumbled upon on an island north of here. He noticed human bones scattered around, but did not heed them. This inn has been a curse on our bloodline ever since. Madness and death claim those who stay here. This time last year, it claimed my father. Soon, I am certain it shall claim me. So why do you remain? I do not believe in fleeing from the mistakes of the past. If the Almighty wills that my family must pay for our errors, or the devil, then this I accept. But I will not see others suffer for our sins. Leave now, before the shadows take you. Let me just leave. Oh, I had no intention to leave the inn until the storm would clear. Oh. Ask man about room. Sir, I have little patience for fables. And even less for riding after sundown in the middle of a downpour. Lend me a room and I shall take the responsibility for my own well-being. You will insist? Not only will I insist, but I will pay whatever price you ask. Go then, take the upstairs room. And if you remain by the board, you shall pay nothing at all. Thank you, loser man. Sleep. Owen lay himself down, intending only to test the bed's softness, but in his exhaustion he quickly succumbed to sleep. In the early hours of the morning, something jolted Owen from his slumber. Piercing sound? No. Piercing smell. I'll be first to admit that I'm not very good at depicting fire. They end up looking more like wobbling yellow jellies. This is not very good at smoke either. Time to eat pillow. Let's try that. Eat pillow. Yuck! Did I just eat the pillow? Get blanket. Okay. I think that's hit the last time too, blankie. Look, smoke. Let's go downstairs. Put out fire with blanket. Blankie again. It's a body. What in God's name? Oh God. It's him, the innkeeper. What kind of... Who could have... You're dead, man. The original idea was that Owen Somerset would survive his encounter with the tall man. It order creates a weird connection to the fact that Somerset's always survive. Reference to 7 Days. But I guess not. Wipe your blood off. You did. In practice, I couldn't really think of a suitable and dramatic way to end the scene except by killing him off. It's also been a shame the appropriate passion of the book of victims. It's definitely a lot more, impressive when he dies. Plus, he deserves it for being so stupid. He could have left, and he was too stupid to do it. Once again, I returned, disoriented from my vision. I was closing in the source of the madness. The innkeeper said the wood came from a tree on an island. Could that have been Clan Bronwyn Island? Given what I was seeing, it seemed a valid, if worrying possibility. Besides that, it seemed I had no other lead, so what would I do? I was determined not to let the trail end there, if there was just a single clue. Get paper. You're always not close enough. Trilby, I know you're following a trail. Go to the roof if you wish to proceed. Lakeman. The idea of Lakeman was to have the player consider their only sympathetic ally in the game who was actually of any use. That way it would be more of a jolt when he revealed his true nature. In practice, though, it seems a lot of people figuring out he's to be a bad guy from his first scene. Probably too much use of a dull bluff and use there. Victim 2, the innkeeper. The second man who desired Drudger was the innkeeper who had bought the wood of the tree and built from it his house. The prince came to him in his guest, and he struck the innkeeper down, and the innkeeper knew the name of the king. The prince turned to the innkeeper's guest, and he said, You I shall not let live. For once before have I made this warning, and still my soul aches with what is done to the wood that is my soul, and I'll spare no man who injures me in this way. The innkeeper's guest knew the name of the king also. An open door. Ask Abed about Abed. Abed, you're drunk. Don't judge me, Railby. At least I don't blunder about telling people the obvious. At least I never kidnapped any innocent girls. Ask Abed about Siobhan. Has Siobhan turned up yet? I don't care about her anymore. She can make her own choices. If she wants to run away with his old smooth talker in that cheap suit, that's up to her. It's not me. This Headley, my new assistant, will be a much better one. Ask Abed about Head. May I borrow that head, Professor? I'll take your other love, too. Oh, I see. You took one companion of mine away, and now you want another. Hey, but it's just a head. What can you possibly need it for? You don't understand. No one understands me. Go get me a drink, then we'll talk. Okay, fine. Sure, man. Whatever you say. There was a bug here that prevented the player from interacting with the wine anyway when it had the cola bottle or the inventory. I know the cola bottle. It's hopefully been fixed now, not that it matters. The wine's only purpose to trigger an event if you pick it up. Otherwise, the Harry with the crimson hue. But you already knew that, right? I don't think I even have the cola bottle. This playthrough, I never found it. I've read in the walkthrough the cola bottle is if you want to go into the dark world right away, you just drink the cola bottle, but you don't really need it. It's not here yet. I gotta go back to the other world. Take pill. Open door. Professor? Where's he gone now? It's sort of stupid. He's not here, but I have to actually, like, purposely go to Stoka Zola. Well, where's that coal anyway? I don't remember where it was. Luckily, I don't need it. I can just wander back and forth until I transition. Oh god, no, he shifted. Of course he's shifting, because negative feelings cause a shift to the dark world. He was all drunk and embittered. Siobhan shifted for the same reason, because she woke up and remembered that Trilby had kicked her in the face. Still with me on this? Good-o. Get head. Well, it's not that kind of game, right? I pulled the head out of the stump, trying not to think about the cracking noises caused. Alright, I gotta find all the other pieces, which I had a hard time doing last time. I mean, one of them was in the room with the safe. Open door. Oh, but it's in the regular rule. Okay. Take pill. Open the door. Alright, get the leg. There it is. Open door. Get the leg. Where are the other ones? None of them are outside. I remember looking for it last time. I don't think it's in there either. I think it's in the bathroom, but I'm not sure about that. Open door. Oh, I can't open the door? It hurts? Oh, it's one of those things now. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Okay then. I guess that was not the bathroom. Where's the stupid leg? Where's the arm, rather? It's not here. What the hell is it? Take pill. Open door. Not here. I want to walk all the way up those goddamn steps. I wrote. Is it outside? I don't think so. One of them is in my room. The other one in her room? Maybe that's where they are. I don't know. I'll find it. I don't like this part of the game, like a scavenger hunt. It's not in here. Crap. Oh, crap. Oh, this is cool. I like when this happens. Alright, I'm looking at the walkthrough quickly because I don't want to search for the thing, stupid thing. Hold on a second. Trilby's notes walkthrough. Where the hell is it? Oh, it is outside. Why did I say it wasn't outside? I thought we were being outside. Oh, what's going on? I'm still walking. I didn't realize it. How did I get up here? Okay, whatever. One second. There we go. I could have sworn it wasn't outside. Stupid. Why is it all of a sudden there and it wasn't there before?
Daddy.
Hold on one second, guys. Hey, sorry about that. My daughter came running in here saying there's a cockroach. I think it was like a beetle or something, but in any case, it needed to be dealt with. Sorry about that. That's more horrific than this game. Yeah, cockroaches are evil. Where's my room? Is this my room? Pick lock. Come on. Which is my room? This one. I don't have Alley Cat. Jim has that. I wish I had that, a copy of that, but I don't. Place lens. The whole puzzle is a nod to the puzzles. The whole puzzle is a nod to the puzzles in most survival horror games, where a bunch of ridiculous items be brought together somewhere, which reason causes the door to unlock. That's sort of interesting. Stupid puzzle though. It's probably been out of place in a straight adventure, but who cares? It amuses me. I care. I hated it. Hang on one second. Okay, take pill. Oops. Open door. Get paper. Clanbrahman Island, July 28th, AD 1501. It's impossible to find pictures of Elizabethan peasant costumes because the only Elizabethan costume pictures online are of the really fancy togs noblemen wore. They're a bit of an educated guess. When it comes to the past, and a lot of baggy sleeves, waistcoats, and knee-high boots, you can't go wrong. A sturdy tree, this. Took us from dawn to dusk. We finally have it down. I'm tired, Father. It was indeed clever of us to investigate the island, eh, boy? I've never seen such a gigantic oak, nor do I expect to again. Oak wood shall keep us in the business of carpentry for years to come. Father, look at all those stones. Think there was a house? Think there was once a house here? It matters not. Why must you always look everywhere but what matters? You could probably draw a comparison between the woodcutter-son relationship and that of Roderick and Matthew Defoe. Mainly because the dad is really overbearing and the son keeps saying father all the time. Yeah. This is your father? Is something troubling you, Father? Get rock. Roll rock. I originally had two backgrounds prepared for the sequence, extend the flashback a bit longer. I dropped one because far too many of these flashbacks are all over the theme Star Room X, Go Room Y, Go Back to Room X, and Oh the Horror. Where am I? I must have shifted to the dark world during the vision. Trilby! Siobhan? Oh, thank God, I thought I was all alone. What happened to you? I don't know. After you knocked me out in my room, I woke up and everything was like this. The hotel's ruined. There's blood everywhere. I saw this horrible man. Tall, thin, long black coat. You know him? Enough to know you're lucky to be alive. He didn't notice me, so I ran up here to hide. How'd you get past the doll? What doll? The doll seems to have the air of unreality about it, because it seems Shiobai didn't encounter it. It does seem to stop you coming through the door from this side. The fact that Trilby sees it may have something to do with the fact he was unable to prevent Simone Taylor's murder. It seems the headless dude from the stairwell who writes all the messages on the wall sees it too. How does Abed see the porcelain head? Just try whatever you want. It's like, who cares? Dude for Bill Williams, funny. Trilby, what the hell's going on? I told you what happened if you followed me into the shadows. This isn't your problem. Take these. That's supposed to indicate he's giving her something in lieu of a reaching out sprite. In retrospect, it looks like they're about to make out. What are these? Tranquilizer pills. Take one. When you calm down, the hotel will go back to normal. Won't you need them? I don't need to run away anymore. Trilby, wait! Where are you going? I know enough now. I know where the wood came from. Perhaps I can find a way to end this. And perhaps not. I'll be stuck here forever. I actually put object interactions of the Dark Wolf rooftop, even though you never get a chance to use them. Yeah, because you can't ever do anything in here. Originally, Shiobai was supposed to leave at the end of the scene and allow you to a chance to do stuff in this room. But in the end, the scene flowed better if Trilby left. And you can never get back in. So I was right. The cursed wood came from Clanbroward Island. What good does that knowledge do me? Wait a second. I never got around to read the letter I took from under that rock. Trilby, I'm very close to ending this. Meet me in the hotel basement. I must show you my discovery. Lakeman. He said meet me on the roof before, and he wasn't there. The other page are those religious papers. The Book of Victims. Victim 1, the woodcutter. The first of those against whom the prince sought vengeance was the woodcutter. He who had held the axe that first felled the tree. The prince came to him and his son. He struck the woodcutter down. The woodcutter knew the name of the king. The prince turned to the woodcutter's son and he said, You I shall let live, for you are young and of the innocent, that you may go among your people and tell them of what I will wrought. And the woodcutter's son fled and told all of what he had seen, but the men of technology are arrogant and his words were unheeded. And of course, combining pages from the Book of Victims with his letters is the giveaway that Lankman works for the Order of Blessed Agonies. Makes sense. Do it for Nimoy! For Nimoy! But the latest one on SimCity was okay. Just the you know what you can tell is the biggest sign that they lost their soul in those AVGN movies, the AVGN videos. I mean, is the intro. The intro scene where they supposed to look like video games or whatever is not. It never was funny or interesting in any way. And they just keep running it over and over and over again because they don't want to use like what's his name, like Kyle Justin anymore. Now we're at the end of the game. My Horse Prince one is the worst one. That was pretty bad. Points the constant shifting and show the date of July 28th, combined with being in the hotel, makes reality so fragile that even a stray thought can cause a shift. And here I am close to the source of it all. Reality is at its most unstable. Originally I was going to have the whispering noise coming and going with Dark World, but the constant stopping and starting would not have been nice on the ears. Yeah, I agree. Touch the stump. Clanbroward Peninsula, July 28th, 55 BC. Cabadath, a Celtic druid, awaits the return of his friend and colleague Galdin, who brings news of the invasion of Anglesey by the Roman Suetonius Paulinus. Once again, I created these names. I'm messing around the names of his actual figures in this period, including Cabadath. Cabanath is a play on Cathbad, who was the chief druid of the court of Conchobar Macnessa, according to Irish mythology. Did I miss something there? No. Having fallen in favor with his fellows for certain radical beliefs and activities, Cabanath lives in solitude in this remote forest clearing and prefers not to travel himself. Cabanath! Galdin, you bring news? The foreigners have landed. They cannot be deterred by our sorcery. All is lost. Galdin is a corruption of Dalgin, who is also a druid of some kingly court somewhere, as they might forget. The background is all historically accurate. Suetonius Polius did invade Anglesey around this time. According to sources, the druids did try to scare off their invaders with their magic, but it didn't work. Oh, certain are you? They are making their way across the land, eliminating resistance. Even you out here we brought down within days. I'm sorry, Cabanath. And the great druids of Anglesey bow so easily to this brash foreign power? Do not hang your head yet, my friend. Perhaps the activities for which I was ostracized could yet spell an answer. What are you talking about? You know of my dealings with the ethereal realm? I know what you claim. There exists some otherworldly territory populated by demons and creatures of magic. And you, Cabanath, can somehow commune with these creatures. It's kind of not in keeping with what we know of druids, so to speak of demons, but then Cabanath is a renegade. Come inside and I shall explain. You may recognize the symbol on the wall from other places throughout the game. This is a symbol of Chazot, and it represents the three aspects of pain: body, mind, and soul. Interesting. I'll leave you to figure out for yourself which part of the symbol represents what. I don't really care. Cabanath, what is this madness? In my dealings with the ethereal realm, I have learned of many powerful demons and elementals. But there is one spoken of only reluctantly, a beast possessing of awesome power. You plan to summon a demon? The most terrible of them all, who strikes fear to even the most unflappable creatures I have spoken with. Cabanath's dialogue here, combined with the sterile notes, the main hints to the effect that not all of the ethereal realm is evil, just the part that Clanbrowwood Island occupies in our realm. Judging by the adventurers of the Stairwell Corps, likely the alternative Clanbrowwood Island occupies a channel that runs between Chazot's desolate kingdom and an unspoiled civilized country, if you say so, buddy. A paid elemental, indeed the only paid elemental, ruler of a desolate wasteland where none venture. An invulnerable, hugely potent beast that feeds on the agony of others. And today is his day. The day when the boundaries between the realms weaken, and he glimpses our world. To bring him through at that point should be simple. If you could conjure such a thing, how would you ever defend our land? I have much knowledge of the ways of magic. With the correct bindings, any demon can be forced to my will. I completed the preparations while I waited for your return. All that remains is the summoning. Cabanath, it pains me to see you build your hopes on such nonsense. Be silent and watch. You shall see your nonsense soon enough. In this hall of death, and by the light of Belinus's gift, I summon you. I bring you gifts to mark your path. I feed you with pain. I call you with madness. I summon you with the greatest loss. Shrewd buggers will realize this ritual sounds very similar to the summoning ritual Trilby performs at the end of 5 days, so this one mentions Belinus, the Celtic god of fire, instead of Prometheus. It also incorporates the Blessed Agonies, and I'll explain those more fully in the next scene. Okay. And I bind you by your true name, Chazot. By the gods! I have reached out to you through the void, Chazot. I command you by your true name. Show yourself! Cabanath, please stop this! Show yourself! By two titties, it's huge! If you ever read an Asterix book, you'll recognize Bitutates as an exclamation used by Celtic and Gaulish characters. I never read them, I want to read them. There seem to be many different ways this particular god's name was spelled, and Tutates is another way. He was the god of a male tribal unity, if what previously believed. It is larger than I anticipated, but Chazot must obey the rules of magic. It is bound. I can command it. But... No! It's far more powerful than I thought! Chazot is a powerful creature of magic. It relies on its magic so much that its actual physical body is largely vestigial. But don't worry, girls. I'm sure you'll get to see more of this handsome lad in the next game. Galden, help me! I'm out of here. Forgive me, Cabadath. I'm out of here. No! Galden, I beg you! Don't let it take me alive! Chazot, of course, has no use for meat. It feeds on pain. It does not kill its prisoners. Cabadath's agony was a particular rare morsel, and Chazot ensured it would last. His soul was placed inside an old oak sapling on the site of his old home to grant his body immortality. For 5 centuries the tree grew. He knew torment beyond even his most depraved imaginings. By then his body was warped and his mind long fallen to soulless dementia. He was Chazot's, utterly and completely his slave. He's a tall guy. Trilby! Siobhan? You were supposed to leave. I couldn't, Hey man, the professor, he's dead! I know. He was killed by the shadows. Just like they'll kill you if you don't get away from here. What is this place? This cave is the center of the reality shift. The stump is what's causing it all. How? It is the vessel for the soul of the tall man. The acolyte of Chazot. Lakeman, nice to see a friendly face. Amazing, isn't it? Of all the things Sir Roderick could have used to murder his son, he chose that idol. Placing the soul of John Defoe into the wood alongside Cabadath's. Infusing the poor retard with Chazot's magic, allowing him to come back infinitely more powerful than before. Yes, this is something I've wanted to get across for a while. The real reason why John Defoe came back so powerful, when life he was such a weak, impotent thing. Ghosts are usually brought back by the ghost's sheer force of will and mind power, and John Defoe came and tell his father from a master thief. Certainly pretty lucky. Lucky? So it to wait 2,000 years for that opportunity. The opportunity to blend magic and science in a single entity. The opportunity to create the bridge. What are you talking about? The bridge between the realms, over which Chazot will cross into our universe and purify mankind. Our order has waited 200 years for the prophecy to be fulfilled. You're not with the Ministry of Occultism. Who are you? 200 years ago, the prophet Jack Freehorn founded the Order of Blessed Agonies. Since then we have grown and watched and waited, like that order in the Indiana Jones' Last Crusade. It was only in recent years that events foretold in the Book of Chazot began to occur. It mentioned John Defoe, and it mentioned you. Me? You were the one prophesied to guide the Bridgekeeper to his destiny. But you didn't finish the job. All 3 aspects of John Defoe had to be destroyed to create the bridge. Body, mind, and soul. You only destroyed his body. His soul and mind remained. Had I known about this, I wouldn't even have done that. This will truly disappoint my superiors. They are quite adamant I should try to persuade you to join our cause and fulfill your foretold duty. Is that why you were helping me? They thought if I guide you through your visions and showed you the appropriate passages from our holy books, you'd understand that the prophecy is real. You honestly believed I joined some insane cult just because you handed me some leaflets? Personally, no. I had these last lines of dialogue when my testers pointed out there was no reason why Lakeman should be helping Trilby. Now it's revealed the Order wanted Trilby on their side, even if Lakeman doesn't. Lakeman seems to be somewhat embittered, possibly because he's little respect among the cultists. A knife in my gut brought an explosion of ice-cold agony. I heard the pitter-patter of my blood on the rocky floor. Co-testers, yeah. The pain, the surprise, and my exhaustion went together to cause immediate unconsciousness. I woke to find myself splayed upon the stump, blood still slowly leaking from my wound. In my injured state, I could barely move. My limbs refused to respond. I was as weak as a newborn. Lakeman? Oh, good, you're awake. I was afraid you'd miss this. What are you doing? After your staggering ineptitude into faux matter, the Order need to nudge things along. Schmidt needed. We need a connection to Jazot to help administrate his coming. I don't mean that kind of coming, you idiot. And today might be the only opportunity we have all year to summon the tall man. You're gonna bring that thing into our world? With a standard ritual of blessed agonies and an offering. After he takes your life, he'll be grateful to us. And then he will guide us to our destiny. So why did you stab me? What if I'm already dead by the time he gets here? You won't be. Men like you, Trilby, die on their own terms. They don't weakly let their life slip away for one measly knife wound. Hush now. Cabanath is coming. Lakeman's plan to kill Trilby is entirely his own because of the aforementioned bitterness he harbors. Although offering him the chance to kill Trilby is how Lakeman plans to endear himself to Cabanath, Trilby doesn't actually have to die for the summoning to work, just be in great pain. Ask Lakeman about ritual, and I'll explain a little more about ritualistic blessed agonies. Alright, fine. Ask Lakeman about ritual. What does this ritual entail? What are you going to do to us? To you, I have done all I need. To bring Cabanath to us, you must tempt him with the 3 blessed agonies. The blessed agonies of the mind, the body, and the soul. I am well conditioned to act as the mind. Your wound makes you the body. The girl will have to suffice the soul. Okay, blessed agonies. In order to summon the tall man to work, each of the 3 people present must be undergoing a blessed agony. As detailed in the religious texts that accompany this special edition, the blessed agony of the body is simply physical pain, which she'll be suffering plenty of. The agonies of the mind are boredom, fear, and madness. Presumably as a Jazot acolyte, Lakeman has put himself regularly through them, and all the blessed agonies is part of his worship. Fine. The agony of the soul is basically the loss of something very close to you, which you rely for emotional support. So you might as well as aim at her mentor and possible lover, and it's who she's about to lose Trilby. It's not a perfect arrangement, but as Lakeman says, lacking anyone else, she'll just have to do. I guess these things are not so rigid. My attempts to really make things worse. I held a stab of pain and something snapped behind my eyes, filling my vision with spots. Alright, so now we're at the end of the game. I have to do anything else. I call thee, Cabanath, to the wood that is your soul. I call thee from the north. Stand in the place where you live, now face east. Think about direction, wonder why. I call thee from the east. Stand in the place where you work, now face south. The plane was now replaced with ice-cold numbness was spreading fast. The moon was swimming before my eyes. I call thee from the south. I call thee from the west. It was becoming harder to breathe. Air rattled in and out of my lungs like a buzzsaw. Reality flits from realm to realm, tormented, confused. End this madness that might bring thee to us. My vision was clouding up around the edges. It seemed like my starry will was the only thing keeping me alive. End it, Cabadath! Die. I died. This is my favorite puzzle in the game because the last thing people expect, including me the first time I played it. All this time I've been trying to get the player to identify with Trilby's character and perhaps he can gain affection for him. Then I make it clear that Trilby has to die and that can only be done by the player's own hand. I've been playing mind games through this whole adventure, and this is the last of them. I thought that was a good puzzle. I present thee with blessed agonies, body, mind, and soul. Come on, let's go. I present thee with the guide, failed in his duty, for thee to judge. Come. They're giving you time to solve the puzzle. Come. Come. Yes, what is it, number one? What? He's dead? No, that's not possible. Master? Master, please, no! No, no! Time for the special extended version of this scene. Oh, is there? I didn't realize that. I'll shut up while you watch it reverently. Trilby? We saw it already, I guess. Go back, Trilby. Leave me alone. I'm dead. Not yet. Not fully. Your mind and soul are drifting apart from your body. With enough power, there is still time to pull them back. But you must have the will to return. I don't, piss off! I've had enough! I did the assignments, I made myself useful. I lived up to the reputation the Full Matter gave me. Today I gave everything I could. I'm still died. There's still work to be done. You've not yet completed your duty. You didn't use the bathroom in this game. I'm sick of duty. I'm sick of prophecy. Just let me sleep. Stronger men than you have tried to fight destiny. None succeed. Past, present, and future are all different faces of the same die, and few can see them all at once. But I can, and the future demands that you live. Return now. I have marked the path. Please just let it end. Pleading to me is useless. I am just as much a prisoner of fate as you. The future your actions are destined to bring about has already taken place. Without your part, I would not be here to restore you to life. So you see, by my mere presence, your decision is already made. Who are you? A murderer, and a madman, and a puppet of forces neither of us can possibly comprehend. He's the protagonist from 7 Games of Skeptic. And so he's a madman and a murderer. Ooh, what the hell was that all about, right? Hey, Ninja, good to see you. Find out our next exciting episode. I texted you several days ago, Ninja, by the way. Say something. What? You're alive. Oh, God, I didn't even know if I was doing it properly. I did it. You're alive. Trilby was completely dead for a short time, not just comatose, and Shiomaru's words indicates their CPR skills aren't up to scratch, all of which hint that perhaps it was some other force that restored Trilby to life. I'm really getting a Trilby hat, by the way. Where's Legman? That tall man took him. He did something horrible to him. And then he took him away. Where's my waistcoat? Shh, don't talk. I've already called for an ambulance. Let's get you back upstairs. Wait. See that wooden idol? Yes? Bring it with us. Wrap it tightly enclosed and bring it with us. Don't let it touch your bare skin. Okay? And now it sits across from me. The reality shift had cleared up, and we were free to leave. An STP cleanup crew arrived with the ambulance. No trace of Abed or the hotel staff was found. Officially, they had been classified as unexplained disappearances. Lakeman and the tall man seemed to have also vanished, which does not surprise me in the least. Siobhan signed the Official Secrets Act, and last I heard is staying with her parents to recuperate. Which just leaves me to write up my notes with the idol that haunts my dreams gazing at me from across my desk. Cast your mind back to the earlier desk scene, and you may realize that Trilby's desk lamp has jumped over the other side of the desk since then. Perhaps this was because of the ghost. Woo! Or maybe he just made a mistake. Occasionally, originally there were little white dots in Trilby's eyes, but that made him look a bit sinister. It looks like he's like half dead. I was dead. I can't pretend I wasn't. No amount of CPR could have brought me back from where I was. So who did? The man in red? Who was he, if not an insane hallucination and brain death? Unimportant. I'm alive, that's all that matters. Just that, and the destiny of this wretched statuette that I'm apparently fated to carry out. Every instinct of my being wants to burn it to ashes and grind them into the dirt, but I do not. Lakeman spoke of a prophecy. The destruction of John Defoe's soul would somehow help him in his order summon their dark god. So if I destroy the idol, they win. But what else can I do? I certainly can't keep it. I know from experience that it leaks malevolent influence like a broken pipe leaks water. The only other option is to hide it. But where can I hide such a thing and ensure that it's never found again by human hands? I shall have to think about this. Trilby. July 29th, 1997. Trilby's hat signature had to be included because we see it on the side of the locker in 7 Days of Skeptic. And then Adam Gilkenny waxed over heads with the line, "Who the hell signs his name with a hat?" It's true. So obviously we know the fulfillment of the prophecy. This is the guy, the red shirt guy. The fulfillment of the prophecy continues. The ritual for the summoning of Trezor will go ahead. Events have been set in motion that cannot be stopped. Oh, that's actually not that guy. We have the blood of the guide. Now we must wait. Wait and prepare. That's Trilby's waistcoat in the tall man's left hand, by the way. I'm really paranoid that people didn't pick up on that, because the order requiring some of Trilby's blood is an important part of the next game. Interesting. Because they cloned him. Spoilers. I won't make any comments during the scrolling text sequence, so I'm afraid it might mess the text up or something. Okay, let me make some comments after that. So, at this time there came a man from the land of technology, and though his wisdom was great and his power advanced, he had the willfulness of his fellows, and so he was the arrogant man. That's Cabadath, or that guy. And as the 18th or 20th day of the 7th month of the year of the arrogant man, the king gazed upon the land of technology and saw the arrogant man, who spake thus: O king, I beseech you, for this land has become corrupt without your benevolent hand, and darkness seems to envelop us all. I demand of you to cross the border to your lands and make things right, for my power is great, and I have it in my power to control one even as great as you. And the king was rightly amused, for while the arrogant man's power was indeed great, the king's power was greater still. And the king said, I will not submit myself, for firstly my power is greater than yours, not yours to command. Secondly, while the capabilities are many, it is impossible for you to enter the land of technology. For the border is a dark and treacherous ocean I cannot will away. But I will do this for you, O arrogant man. For all the bigness of your head, you are still small enough to be spared the rigors of the dark ocean. I shall rescue you from the darkness of the land of technology, and you shall live in my household, and here you will learn humility. And as the king said it, so it was so, and the arrogant man crossed the ocean to the house of the king, where he was brought before his majesty, who said, Now you must repay me for the slight your arrogance caused me, for despite your insult I love you, as I love every man and beast. I'll have to torture them. And you must learn to take this love into your heart. I think I said the same thing last time, by the way. And the king took the body and mind of the arrogant man and separated them from his soul. And this he placed in a great tree in the land of technology. And with this action he announced, Now you are the tree, and the tree is you, and the wood is your soul. With this gift of separation, your body shall not wither or die throughout your lessons. He didn't sneeze, though. But should any man interfere with the tree that is your soul on the day that is mine, I shall lend you the power to confront them and strike them down with fitting vengeance. And then he touched the arrogant man and filled his heart with his warming love, and the arrogant man became the prince. Oh, man, he knew the name of the king, and the prince in the court of the king bowed down and wept and sang with great praise the name of the king, for great and generous was his wisdom. The books of Croshaw, Book of the Prince, Chapter 2. It's like after I play a game for a long time, I always end up sneezing at the end. It's been almost 2.5 hours. So, like I said last time, while the credits are rolling, we know that he tried to destroy the idol he tried to make sure the idol was never destroyed by shooting into space. And in the beginning of the game, 7 Days a Skeptic, your character finds the idol, but at the end of that game, you end up destroying the idol in the exhaust of the spaceship. So presumably, finally at that point, whatever they wanted to happen ends up happening, and Croshaw or the tall man or whatever is able to come into the world of the technology, our world. So in the next game, the last game of the series, which is, what's it called? 9 Days a Sacrifice, I think? Whatever it's called. I think it's 9 Days of Sacrifice. You'll see that that's what happens. It's about, like, the prophecy being fulfilled or whatever. And we did stream that on this channel, like, 4 years ago without the commentary. So I'm going to try to stream it again with the commentary. But before I do that, I may play the other game in this series, which I never played, which is not an adventure game, which is called Trilby, The Art of a Thief, which is some kind of platformer stealth game, which is supposed to be really good. And you play as Trilby, but it takes place before the first game even. So I'm going to download that and see if it's any good, and if it is good, I probably will actually stream it. So is there any more commentary here? Let's see. Hell yes, some platform. Yeah, you're like tired of adventure games, aren't you, man? Well, let me just say thanks again to all those guys that are credited there. Well, let me say also thank you for donating and playing the special edition. I did pay, by the way. This, like I said, this is free now. It's been fun, kids. Ciao for now. But it's too bad there's no Easter eggs or anything like an extra deleted scenes like in the other games. Those were really fun. But that's the end of Trilby's notes. It's been 2.5 hours, and it's a good time to wrap this. So thanks everyone who was here today, including Pirate Gamer Boy 12, Ninja at the end, Lutfi Makarim, Defender, Hopser Key, and there are a bunch of other people that are here lurking. So thanks to everybody. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure you like, subscribe. Actually, if you're still here, give me a like if you didn't already, so leave 2 likes. And make sure you give me a comment. Let me know what you think of this. And like I said, we'll probably try the next game, Trilby, The Art of a Master Thief, whatever it's called. And Ninja, you missed the Asterix references if you're still there. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Happy 4th of July. It's midnight now. You're on the East Coast exactly, so 4th of July is over. Most people are off tomorrow, though. So anyway, have a good 4th of July weekend. And we'll do this again real soon. Darn, isn't it, yeah, 12 a.m. Peace out, everybody. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night. Talk to y'all soon.